Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Tennille Richardson-Quamina, CEO and Clinical Director at Acropolis New Creations Caribbean, where we provide innovative solutions for your mental and behavioral health. Today, we're talking about ants, but not the tiny insects that show up at our picnic or sneak into our homes. Today, we're talking about automatic negative thoughts. The quick, uninvited thoughts that crawl into our minds and begin influencing how we feel, how we see ourselves, and how we respond to the people and situations around us. You may recognize thoughts as, I'm going to fail. Nobody really likes me. I cannot handle this. Or, things will never change. These thoughts can appear so quickly that we do not stop to question them. We simply accept them as true and react accordingly. Today, we're going to learn a simple 3-step process: spot the ant, squash the ant, and replace the ant. The goal is not to pretend that everything is wonderful or to ignore real problems. The goal is to notice when a thought is making a difficult moment even harder, and to give ourselves a chance to respond differently. Let me begin with a quick question. Has your brain ever created an entire story before you had all the facts? Most of us have experienced that. But by the end of today, you'll have a practical way to slow that story down. We have some activities today to help us practice this new skill. So get a pen and paper or pull up that note app on your smartphone. Let's begin with, I hope you'll be able to take away from our time together today. Here's today's promise. You do not have to believe everything you think. That might sound a little strange because our thoughts are often felt deeply and personally. They happen inside our minds, so we assume that they must be accurate. But thoughts are not always facts. Sometimes they're guesses, fears, old messages, habits, or worst-case scenarios. By the end of this presentation, I want you to be able to do 3 things. First, catch an ant before it completely takes over your mood or your behavior. Second, question the story without questioning your worth. There is a major difference between saying, this thought may not be accurate, and saying, something must be wrong with me for thinking this. We're going to practice curiosity, not self-criticism. And third, you'll learn how to replace an unhealthy thought with one that is more balanced, honest, and useful. Notice that I said balance and not simply positive. If I'm struggling, telling myself everything is perfect probably will not feel believable. A balanced thought might be, this is difficult, but I can take it one step at a time. Before we can change an ant, we need to understand exactly what it is. So what is an ANT? ANT stands for automatic negative thought. So let's break that down. It's automatic because it appears without an invitation. You do not usually sit down and decide, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to think of something discouraging. The thought simply pops up. It is negative because it often predicts, judges, blames, dismisses, or assumes the worst. It may focus on what could go wrong while ignoring what is going right. And it's a thought. This is the most important part. A thought is a mental event. It is something your mind produces but it's not automatically a fact. For example, imagine that you send someone an important message and they do not respond. The lack of response is a fact. Your mind may immediately say, they are ignoring me, they are upset with me, or I must have done something wrong. Those conclusions and are interpretations. They may be true, but they may also be completely wrong. The person may be working, sleeping, driving, overwhelmed, or simply planning to respond to you later. The situation can be real, while the conclusion your brain or mind draws from it is inaccurate. Learning to separate what happened from the story we create about what happened is one of the most useful emotional wellness skills we can develop. Now, let's look at why the first thought matters so much. Our thoughts, feelings, and actions are connected. Let's walk through this example. The trigger is receiving a meeting invitation from your supervisor. That is the event. The automatic thought is, I'm in trouble. That thought creates anxiety. Once the anxiety rises, you may avoid opening the invitation, spend hours overthinking, become defensive, or struggle to concentrate on anything else. Notice that the meeting invitation did not directly create every part of that reaction. The meaning attached to the invitation helps shape the emotional and behavioral response. Now imagine a different thought. I do not know what the meeting is about yet. I can prepare and ask. You may still feel nervous with this thought, but the anxiety is likely to be less intense, and now you have a useful action available. We cannot always control the trigger. We also cannot simply command ourselves not to feel something, but we can examine the thought sitting between the trigger and our response. When we change the thought, we often create room for a different or next move. Think of a recent situation when your mood changed very quickly. What did your mind say in that moment? You don't have to share it. Just simply take notice and think about it. If these thoughts can be so inaccurate, why do we feel that they are so convincing? Ants feel convincing because our brains are designed to detect danger quickly. The brain is trying to protect us, not necessarily produce a perfectly balanced first draft response. First, the process is fast. If our brain is trying to protect us, that thought needs to be fast so that it could get us to perceived safety. When information is missing, the brain fills in the gaps. Unfortunately, it may fill those gaps with fear rather than facts. Second, the thought may be familiar. If you have spent years thinking, I'm not good enough, that message can feel true simply because it's been repeated so often. Being familiar is not the same as being accurate. Third, many ants are protective. The mind may predict rejection so that rejection will not surprise us. It may expect failure, so we will not take a risk and get hurt. It may criticize us, so no one gets the chance. We can appreciate that the mind is trying to protect us, while also recognizing that its method may no longer be helpful. A protective thought can still be inaccurate, limiting, or unnecessarily painful. So when you notice an ant, try not to respond with, "Why am I like this?" A more helpful response is, "My mind is trying to protect me. Let me check whether this story is really true." These thoughts tend to travel in groups, so let's meet some of the most common members of our ant colony. As I describe these 6 common ants, notice which ones visit you most often. The first is fortune telling. This will go badly, is a thought we normally have with this type of ant. We predict a negative outcome before the situation has even unfolded. The second is mind reading, which looks like they think I'm foolish. This is where we assume we know what another person is thinking without asking or having evidence. The third is all or nothing thinking, which looks like if it's not perfect, I've failed. This ant leaves no room for learning, progress, mixed outcomes, or being human. The fourth is filtering. Only the mistakes matter. That's what that thought looks like. We mentally filter out our compliments, progress, or positive details and focus exclusively on what went wrong. The fifth is labeling, and that looks like I'm a failure. Instead of describing one action or one moment, we turn it into a permanent judgment about our identity. I made a mistake becomes I am a mistake. The sixth is the should ant. I should have it all together. Should statements like that create pressure, shame, and unrealistic expectations, sometimes replacing should with would, like to, or could, or I'm working towards, creates more room to grow. Which one sounds most familiar? Type the number in the comments or simply write it down for yourself. Naming the ant does not make it disappear, but it helps you step back from it. Instead of saying this is true, you can say, I am having a mind-reading thought. So let's practice identifying these patterns together. I'm going to read 3 thoughts. Before I give the answer, decide which ant or ants you hear. The first thought is, no one spoke after my idea. They hated it. Okay? Which ant do you think this is? Alrighty. Good. This is mind reading. Silence is the fact. They hated it is the interpretation. The second thought is, I missed one workout. I have no discipline. This combines all or nothing thinking with labeling. Missing one workout does not erase every healthy choice or define your character. And our third one, you guys are doing good. I know tomorrow will be a disaster. Which ant do you think this is? Great, good job. This is fortune telling. The person is treating a feared possibility as a guaranteed outcome. You may have noticed that one thought can contain more than one ant. That is completely normal. The goal is not to identify the perfect label. The goal is to recognize that the thought contains a pattern that's worth questioning. When you identify the pattern, you create a little space between your thought and yourself. That space is where your choice begins. Now that we can recognize some common ants, let's walk through the 3-step framework for how to handle them. The ANT framework has 3 simple moves. Step 1, spot the ant. We pause and catch the exact words running through our minds. Step 2 is squash the ant. This does not mean attacking ourselves or forcing the thought away. It means questioning the thought instead of automatically obeying it. And step 3 is replace the ant. We choose a more complete and balanced thought, one that acknowledges reality while helping us respond effectively. There's also an invisible step holding all 3 together, and that's the pause. The pause may only last a few seconds, but it interrupts that automatic cycle. It allows us to move from reacting to responding. You do not have to complete this process perfectly. Sometimes simply noticing I'm having an ant is progress. With practice, the 3 steps become easier and more natural. So remember, our first step is to spot the ant. Our second is to squash the ant. And our last step is to replace the ant with a balanced thought that you can actually believe. So let's slow down and carefully look at each of these steps one by one to make sure that we have it. When it comes to spotting the ant, we need to slow down the moment and make sure that it lasts long enough for us to capture the sentence that we're telling ourselves. Let's begin with 3 questions. What just happened? What emotion showed up? What exactly did my mind say? For example, perhaps you are asked to speak in front of a group. Your emotion is anxiety. The thought may be, I'm going to embarrass myself. Write that thought as a direct quote. This matters because vague distress is difficult to challenge. I feel bad tells us about the emotion, but it does not reveal the thought that's driving it. Everyone will judge me if I make a mistake gives us something to be specific enough that it can be examined. So take a moment now and think of a recent situation that brought up stress, sadness, anger, insecurity, or frustration. Choose something manageable, not the most painful experience you've ever had. Write down the exact thought in quotation marks. And I'll give everyone a second to write that down or type it onto your phone app. If you're struggling to find the thought, complete this sentence. What bothered me most was the idea that, and then fill in the blank. The words that follow are often the and. Once we have captured the sentence, we can stop treating it like unquestioned truth. With the thought in front of us, we are ready for step 2, squash the ant. Squashing the ant means becoming a curious investigator rather than a prosecutor. Start by asking, is this thought 100% true? Notice that we're not asking whether it feels true. We're asking whether the evidence proves that it's true. Next, ask, what facts support this thought? We're not trying to deny reality. If there is evidence, we acknowledge it. Then, ask, what facts do not support this thought? Ants often ignore evidence that does not fit the negative story. The fourth question is, am I confusing a possibility with a certainty? Something could happen without being guaranteed to happen. And finally ask, what would I say to someone I love? I like this one. Most of us naturally offer other people more patience, context, and compassion than we often offer ourselves. Return to the thought you wrote on the last slide. Choose 2 of these questions and apply them to your thought. And I'll give everyone a few minutes or a few seconds to do that. Remember, the purpose is not to prove that nothing bad could ever happen. The purpose is to decide whether the original thought is complete, accurate, and helpful. Sometimes the honest answer will be, there is a real problem here. Even then, questioning the ant can help us move from panic and self-attack to problem solving. Once we have challenged the original story, we need something healthier to put in its place. And this is where step 3 comes in. Replace the ant. This is where we sometimes confuse balanced thinking with forced positivity. This looks like, I always fail, is overly negative and absolute. The statement, everything will be perfect, swings too far to the other direction. If we do not believe it, it will not calm us or guide us. A balanced replacement might be, this is hard, and I can take one useful step. That statement acknowledges the difficulty that we're experiencing and preserves our sense of agency by saying we can at least make a small step towards that goal. A strong replacement thought should be believable, compassionate, and action-oriented. So you could say or think something like this: I do not know what they are thinking. So I will ask instead of assuming. Or you could try this one. One mistake does not erase everything I did well. Or another one. I may feel nervous, but I can still show up. Try using one of these sentence starters to guide you. A more complete story is fill in the blank. Here's another starter. I do not know yet. Fill in the blank. The evidence also shows ... Or I can handle this by ... Do not choose the most positive sentence you can imagine. Choose the sentence your nervous system can actually believe. Okay? So let's put all 3 steps together using one everyday example. So we'll use that invitation from our supervisor that we spoke about earlier. Imagine receiving a message that says, my supervisor wants to meet me. The ANT is immediate. I'm getting fired. That is the spot step. We spotted the automatic negative thought. We've captured it, and we know exactly what that thought is. Now we squash it by saying or thinking, a meeting request is a fact. It is. But being fired is a prediction. Remember those 6 ants that are in our colony? Perhaps there has been no negative feedback, no warning, or no evidence that employment is in danger. The meeting could involve a new project, a schedule change, a question, or routine feedback. Then we move to our 3rd step by replacing it and changing that automatic thought to this. I do not know the purpose of the meeting yet. I can prepare, breathe, and ask. What changed? The meeting did not change. The uncertainty did not disappear. The person may still feel a little nervous. What changed was the interpretation and the number of useful choices available. The original thought encouraged panic and avoidance, and the replacement thought makes room for preparation and direct communication. This is an important reminder. The framework does not promise that uncomfortable feelings will immediately disappear. But what it does is it helps keep those feelings from driving the entire response. You've seen the framework in action. Now it's time to apply it to your own example. So get those pen and papers out and get your note app back up on your phone. This is your ant extermination lab. We're going to exterminate these ants today. Think of an ant that you may have had today or in the past. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. You can think about it or put it in your brain or put it on your piece of paper or in your phone app. First, remember, we want to spot it. Write what happened and the exact words your mind used. Okay? Everybody got that one down? Second, we want to squash it. Write down the evidence that supports the thought and the evidence that challenges it. Ask whether you are treating a prediction, assumption, or interpreting as a fact. Ready? Everybody have their evidence? Okay. And third, replace it. Write a more balanced thought that you can believe and use. Remember, we don't want to be overly positive and we don't want to be overly critical of ourselves. I'm going to give everyone about 2 minutes to work through those 3 steps. All right, everyone. Now, if you feel comfortable as everybody's wrapping up their examples, you can share your replacement thought with a partner that may be watching this with you, or you could type it in our comment section. You may also choose to pass. And as you listen to your partner's ant extermination lab or read some of them in the comments, notice that effective replacement thoughts do not erase difficulty. They can often sound like, I can take 1 step, I do not know yet, this moment does not define me, or I can ask for what I need. If your first replacement did not feel believable, revise it. The most useful thought is not the prettiest one. It's the one that helps you stay grounded and choose your next action. Even after completing the framework, the same ant may return. Let's talk about what we should do then. When an ant comes back, it does not mean that the framework failed. It means your mind is returning back to a familiar pathway or habit. First, you have to name it, and that could sound like, there's that mind reading ant again. I'm doing it again. Second, you want to ground yourself. Take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. Feel your feet touching the floor. Look around and name what is present. Pull yourself back into the moment and out of your thoughts. Third, repeat your balanced thought. You may need to use it many times before it becomes more familiar than that original ant. And fourth, take 1 small step that matches your values. You want to take an act, want to do something that's task-oriented. For example, send the email, ask the question, take the break, begin the task, or speak to yourself with kindness. Ants often become louder when we are tired, hungry, stressed, uncertain, or in conflict. At those times, thinking skills work best when paired with basic care for the body and our nervous system. So when we're having a hard time, those ants, they can come fast and quick in our head. And we have to make sure we pause and take care of ourselves. Do some self-care. Repetition is not failure. Repetition is practice. Each time you notice the thought and choose to use the framework again, you are strengthening a different response. You are creating a new pathway, a new habit. We can make that new response easier by practicing before we are in the middle of a crisis. So let's see how we can do some practice here. We always say practice makes progress, not practice makes perfect. A daily ant habit can be simple. In the morning, choose one balanced thought for the day. It could be, I do not have to do everything at once, or I can be learning and still be capable. At midday, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself right now? This is especially helpful if you notice tension, irritability, anxiety, or discouragement. In the evening, write down one ant that appeared and one more complete truth. You do not need to document every thought. One example a day is enough to build awareness and to practice. Try this for 7 days. Track your progress. Remember, not perfection. Progress may look like noticing an ant 5 minutes sooner than you usually would. It may look like recovering from a difficult moment more quickly. It may look like choosing not to send a message while your thoughts are escalating. Small, consistent practice is more effective than waiting until we are overwhelmed. To make the framework easier to remember, let's turn it into a short emergency card. The ANTS emergency card gives you a 30-second reset. The first question is, what is the exact thought? Name the sentence rather than getting lost in the emotion. The second question is this a fact, an interpretation, or prediction? Remember, facts are observable. Interpretations explain what we think something means, and predictions tell us what we believe will happen. The third question is, what is more complete and helpful? What is a more complete and helpful truth? Then remember 4 short actions. Breathe, name it, question it, choose again. You can screenshot this slide, copy these questions into your phone, write them on an index card, or write them on a sticky note and put it near your desk. This card is most useful when it's easy to read during a stressful moment. When you need it, you want to be able to find it, so put it somewhere where you can get to it quickly so it can be most useful to you in those hard moments. The goal is not to have the perfect answer in 30 seconds. The goal is to interpret the automatic story long enough to create a choice. So for our closing reflection, complete these 2 sentences for yourself. The first is, one thought I'm leaving behind is, and I'm going to put myself out there. one thought I'm leaving behind is that I have to be perfect. This is an old label for me, and you might identify an old label for you. A harsh statement, a prediction, or an assumption that has been draining your peace. The second is one balanced truth I'm taking with me is I don't have to be perfect to get something done. That is one that I'm taking with me. So think a few seconds about one balanced truth that you're taking with you. And if you would like to share, you're welcome to do so. You can type it in the comments or share with your partner that may be watching this with you, or your colleague that may be watching this with you. But you can also keep your reflection private. As you read or listen to other people's balanced truth, notice the tone. They're usually not grand promises. They're honest statements, such as, I'm allowed to ask questions. And for me, I'm allowed to be imperfect. One mistake does not define me. Or I can do the next right thing, even when I feel uncertain. Your ANT may have been practiced for years and years. So give your new truth some time and repetition to replace it. You're not trying to win an argument with yourself in one moment. You're building a healthier way of responding. So let's close with a central message that I hope stays with you. Thank you for participating in today's Wellness Wednesday. If negative or intrusive thoughts are persistent, remember, we're going to spot them, squash them, and replace them. But if you're still struggling or feel that these concerns are really impacting your mental health, you can reach out to us at Acropolis New Creations Caribbean Limited, where you can get connected with a qualified mental health professional for additional support. Again, thanks again for everyone who made time to be proactive and learn a new skill that could help you in those hard moments and those difficult thoughts in the future. If you've been with me before, you know I always say prevention is better than intervention. So I hope everyone has some good notes to add to your toolkit, and share the news and share this new skill set with your loved ones, your colleagues, your friends, because all of us could use some help with those pesky ants. And if you or a loved one need some additional support, here's our contact information at New Creations Caribbean. Here's our phone number. You can find out some more about us at our website here. And for those of us like myself who are a little more comfortable with email versus a phone call, you can email us as well at our email address here. And you'll see our location. And if you want to scan the barcode, you can scan it here and screenshot and save the information for when you may need us in the future. Again, everyone, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next month at Wellness Wednesday. Take care.